famous rabbis of yesteryear. Now we're going back into Bulgarian territory, where we're going to speak about a famous rabbi who was a chief rabbi of Bulgaria and prominent member of the Zionistic movement over there. His name was Rabbi Preciado Bakish. He was a famous Sephardic rabbi who was very much active in Bulgaria through his time. He was born in Sofia in the year 1828 in Bulgaria, and the family was, I believe, Spanish descent, if I'm not mistaken, originally. Obviously, he would pass away in 1910, 115 years ago, at the age of 82. Now, I'm not too sure the exact date when he passed away. That I'm not 100% sure on that specific date, respectively, but he was a famous rabbi of his time. He's a rabbi we've spoken about on various occasions before, I believe, in the series. He was a chief rabbi of Bulgaria between 1885 to 1889, and then 1895 to 1898, or possibly even 1900. So he would have been on and off about 10 years, or close to that, the chief rabbi. He was also head of Jewish court, the chairman of the rabbinical court over there, another prominent position. He would also be famous for his Zionistic works. He was part of the first Zionistic Congress he participated in, and which I think was held between 29th to 31st of August, all the way back in the year 1897 in Basel, in Switzerland. And I think he would actually go along with three other famous delegates from Bulgaria: Tzvi Belkovsky, Karl Herbst, and Yoshua Kalef, which we'll speak about more. I think 200 members across the world will actually come, and it's interesting. So that would be very, very documented about that different actings, let's just say, he did within regards to that point in time, which is actually bibliographied within regards to him on various occasions before and in various different places. Let's explore a few more of the highlights of the famous rabbi's life. Okay, so let's go on to it. So, as I said before, he was born in 1828, and he will get rabbinic ordination through another famous rabbi, Rabbi Yehuda Arav, he happened to be, and to be appointed the head of Jewish court in Sofia. He'll also be a chazan, cantor. Interesting enough, Shliach Tzibur, in, I think, the Beit Knesset called the Harmonioti, I believe it is, or Romoyotim, if I'm not mistaken. This synagogue, part of the, I think currently maybe it's an Ashkenazic synagogue, if I'm not mistaken. Possibly wasn't always there the whole time, if I'm not mistaken. So that's very interesting. And we've spoken much about the famous different structure there was at that specific point in time, that window of time. So he was, we can also say that he actually came from a very notable family, let's just say, from Sofia, doing a lot of voluntary public activities, let's just say. And I don't think he actually got a salary for some of the works their family did. His public and economic status led, let's say, Rabbi Bakish to take an independent stance on religious and community issues, an issue that led, let's say, to robust discussion with the leadership of the Bulgarian Jews at the time. Okay, now there was establishment of the Principality of Bulgaria. Interesting enough, so we'll have to speak about that for a minute. So I think in 1885, התפטר הרב הראשי לנסיכות Bulgaria, Gabriel Almoshnino. Now, I think Rabbi Gabriel Almoshnino would actually, at that point in time, in 1885, he would not be part of that position at that place. I think he was also the chief rabbi, most likely, of Sofia, and was reported over to have been the first chief rabbi of Bulgaria, if I'm not mistaken. And I think in 1886, Azavet Bulgaria v'ala Israel, he went actually to the land of Israel, respectively enough. So Rabbi Aqib Bakish will be appointed in his place as a chief rabbi over there till 1889. And then I think afterwards it was Rabbi Simon Dankovitz who will become the chief rabbi over there. He was, I would assume, from Ashkenazic descent afterwards, but once again, important role he will take. Now, after, I think, Rabbi Moritz Greenwald passed away, he will be appointed once again as a chief rabbi. Rabbi Moritz Greenwald was a chief rabbi of various different places, I think, different cities at that point in time. He was a posek, and he was very, very well known in his time over there. I think this was in the year 1895, and then he would take over 1895 or 1896 till right at the end of the 18th century. He will actually fill the place of becoming chief rabbi again, and much more can be said within regards to that. Remember, we've spoken about many of the chief rabbis of various different countries already inside this series, so it's very, very important that we keep speaking about this, and interesting enough. Okay, so I believe he would be as chief rabbi on 2 different occasions, and we talked about Rav Moritz Greenwald after he passed away, how he would take central role to that. I think there was someone named Benjamin Zev Herzl. He happened to obviously be Herzl, and he and his leader, he was the leader of the, let's say, the Zionistic movement, so he would be actually supporting Zionism. I think, especially from the synagogue in Sofia, before the congregation and the people that were standing before him, he would actually say, it's reported over, I think I would say it in Hebrew, what he actually said over about Herzl. Dr. Herzl hu atzir ashluach alenu memoram l'oshia et Yisrael migloto hu chatar magaza yeshe she'al ato nevianu agadol. That's what it actually says within regards to him, which is very, very interesting also. So it just shows how important that position was at that stage of time here in recent years. Okay, so he would speak to large audiences, most notably enough, I think in Constantinople, in Turkey, if I'm not mistaken, especially in June 1896. So I think both Sephardi and Ashkenazi, if I'm not mistaken, people would actually come. So it was a proper diverseness, as I said. So now it's interesting. Benjamin Zev Herzl visited Bulgaria on his way to the chief rabbi synagogue in Sofia, and Rabbi Bakish greeted Herzl and expressed support for the, let's just say, Israel, Yishuv Eretz Israel, that entire idea in of itself. So that we have to point out also. So I think Rabbi Bakish greeted Herzl most notably and expressed support for the Zionist idea. And I think at that point in time, Bakish clashed on religious boycotts who's expressed their possession to be Zionist and imposed. I think there was Rabbi Moshe Halevi, the Jews of the Ottoman Empire, Rabbi Karl Herbst, and also Rabbi Yoshua Kalev. I think they were the leaders at that stage in time of the Zionistic movement in Bulgaria. Now, that's very, very interesting enough. I think come around 1898, I think in November time, mid-November or close to it, I think there was a first Zionist congregation held in Plovdiv, if I'm not mistaken, in Bulgaria, a conference of Bulgarian Jews, Zionistics, within regards to it. So his participation is reported over in the first he had recognized of 1897, a month after the rabbi's dismissal. Yeah, so that's very interesting. Now, in practice, Rabbi was very, very busy. The whole time he was speaking to community members, dignitaries, and so on and so forth. And it's reported over that he would leave at that point in time the Ashkenazi community in Sofia as a desperate, let's say, as a separate community, contrary to the position of the community leaderships in Sofia, in Bulgaria at that point in time. The dismissal was for economic reasons, not sectarian, because by his decision, the rabbi caused a reduction in the, let's say, expected income of what was appointed as acting head. Now, after he completed, I think Rabbi Shmuel Tadsheh, another very great rabbi, hopefully we will record a video on, would, I think, actually follow his place. Very interesting enough. So I think he immigrated to Palestine in the year 1900, just before he passed away. In the Zionist congregation, he was behalf at the founding conference all those years ago, and he passed away, I believe, varying opinions, but now I'm reading over here on the Wikipedia website that might have been 1910. He would have been 82 years of age at the time the famous rabbi passed away. So please don't forget to light candle in his memory. We're speaking about, to be precise, Rabbi Preciado Bakish, or maybe he goes by Ykir now also, so that might be very interesting to know also. But wishing you a Shabbat Shalom on this note. Take care and learn more about the great rabbis of yesteryear, please, and grow this community. He was the chief rabbi of Bulgaria in his time, which is phenomenal. So take care and thanks for watching.